Hello everyone, and welcome to another Dwarven Tavern review. This time, we are talking about the new release from Wizards, Dungeons & Dragons, folks, called The Princes of the Apocalypse. It goes for $49.95, and it is a D&D adventure for characters level 1 through 15. Okay. This is, it's not a sequel to the Tyranny of Dragons, but it is it's an ongoing series of adventures, like prefab modules, if you're old enough to remember those. And this one's based on the Temple of Elemental Evil, which I think was a very cool thing. Starts out at first level. I'm not really sure. I'll have to look it up, but I think the Temple of Elemental Evil was a little bit higher level for starters. But this one starts out at first level, or and it's very cool because it is of course 5th edition, which is what Wizards and those folks are publishing for now. And it is a lot like, it has the same format, basically, as the Tyranny of Dragons books, including it's episodic, chapter through chapter. It has 6 chapters of adventures, okay, and it also has a chapter of monsters and magic, and it has a new playable race called the Genasi, which I believe is exceptionally cool, because the Genasi are they are half genies, which I prefer a million times over the half demons. I don't even know. I don't even remember what they're called. I don't care about them so much. I never liked the plane touched from the lower planes, and it's not because I'm like a good guy, Boy Scout type, when I kind of am, but I just never cared for those as a player race. Now, as an NPC race, sure, but I just never liked them. I thought they were trite and cliche. You may feel different, which is perfectly okay. It's whatever works for you. And if you like them, that's great, but I don't. So, but the Genasi are elemental half-breeds, which, may be politically incorrect to say it that way, but I don't care. And so, as we progress here, the first chapter, and it's laid out real nice, and of course the appearance is nice because they've got it down as far as that goes. It's kind of a semi-gloss paper with it's an off-white with a bit of texture. It's got a real good, and it's real easy on the eyes to read, which is always important. Easy to overlook that stuff, right? Because when you're reviewing a book, you sometimes go for just the content and the appearance without considering the innards, right? The viscera of the book, which in this case, if you read this book for an hour and you get a blazing headache, you're not going to want to pick it up anymore because you think that it might be the Princess of the Apocalypse that's causing your headache, when in reality it's the glossy nature or the color of the paper. It's kind of a lateral antagonism of thine eyes. So, but that every aspect of a book is important that way, and that's what to look for. Because if you're publishing books out there, keep that in mind. The stark white might look clean and professional, but it's not. So, anyway, we go here. Chapter 1 is the Rise of Elemental Evil, which covers using this book, adventure background, adventure synopsis, elemental cults, which of course is the the antagonist, is all of the elemental cults in various forms, such as the cult of the Black Earth, the Crushing Wave, the Eternal Flame, and the Howling Hatred, which I think is akin to the Westboro Baptist Church. And I'm not going to touch that, other than the little poke I just bestowed. And it tells you how to run the adventure. It gives adventure hooks and factions and how to start the adventure and preparing for play. Now, the old modules for first edition thenceforth were of a nature that you kind of had to know what you were doing a little bit. It gave you an adventure background. You set your players down, you read them the background, and the game began. Which is good. I mean, it's very efficient. It gets you into it. Very, instead of role playing the hiring you to guard the caravan, which I think is that's a major trope in adventuring. You are hired to guard a caravan, and in the process of going from A to B, you were sucked into a maelstrom in the sand and found yourself in this dungeon of rabid beavers, which that would be awful. However, this it goes full on instructoid in that it gives you ideas for adventure hooks, and let's take a look, shall we? It begins on page 12. The adventure is designed for third level characters, but see the starting the adventure section for more options. Now, hold on a second. It says on the back for 1 to 15. And here, it says third level. So, little discrepancy there, I believe. Okay, when the players create characters, or is it the characters creating the players? Little philosophical moment there, which is actually I've seen it happen. Encourage each of them to choose adventure specific hooks from the list below and align with a faction. Doing so ties the characters more to the fight against the elemental evil. So, the various descriptions and motivations are things like best served cold. So you have to, you don't have to, you're advised to pick a side such as dangerous information, defeating the Skyriders, Feathergale Rebel, etc., etc. And I can't really give those things away because they're spoilers, and we don't like spoilers. So, but my point being, this actually whisks you away into the adventure in the most, I don't want to say rudimentary because it's not, in the most instructional, and it kind of handholds into the adventure, which is actually kind of cool. It takes a little longer, but it's probably worth it. I would say it's worth it. It's worth it. See? I told you I would say that. So, in Chapter 2, we have the Desserin Valley, which is a location and a chapter. Then it goes to Chapter 3, the Secret of Slumber. Secret of Slumber Hills. Chapter 4 is Earth, Air, Fire, and Water. Chapter 5 is the Temple of Elder Elemental Eye, the Elemental Eye. Chapter 6 is Alarms and Excursions, or Alarums and Excursions. So, and it gives you, side treks and things that you can do off to the side, trekking-wise. Then we have the Chapter 7, which is the monsters and magic items, which is one of the coolest features of this book. In that It includes howling hatred cultists. It includes cultists from each of the elemental evil factions: the Black Earth, the Eternal Flame, the Crushing Wave, Howling Hatred, etc., etc. And it has other villains, whatever a villain is. It has other villains also, and elemental myrmidons, or myrmidons, or myrmidons, or myrmidons, or however, I pronounce it myrmidons, or myrmidons, a circle. And it has the princes of elemental evil, which are here on page 214, and something, I think this book was not entirely cut or something, because the pages at the end are kind of clinging together. I really like my books. So the princes of elemental evil are, if you are familiar with the old deities and demigods, or deities and demigods books from the various editions, you've got Imix, which is the elemental dude o' fire. Monsieur Flambe, the captain of immolation. Anyway, Ogremok, which is the dude from the Earth, and he's a bad Earth dude. Olhydra, which, you know, it's water. And then Yansi Bin, which is the prince of evil elemental air. So it has those. Then, in great detail, very good detail. Then on page 227, we have in our midst the Genasi. And you can see here on page 226, the Genasi, which look a little bit like the half demons, but they are not. They are half genies, and here on page 228, it has a very nice representation of each of the elements, right? That they are, and it goes in good detail. It goes in good detail. I really like the Genasi. For those of you who like to play a more magical flavor to your game, which I'm okay with it. I just straight up playing like I enjoy playing like dwarves and elves, not elves, but dwarves and humans, and because, you know, I don't know. I don't think it's necessary to start out with a magical, like I played with this one complete and utter, like, I mean, he wasn't a noob, but he was kind of a douchebag, I guess. And he rolled up he created a race called they were half trolls, and because he wanted to never die. And I played it once, and he was attacked by a fire elemental. You know, because he was a dick. And that might be a dicky thing for me to do, but I don't care. I didn't like the guy. So, my apologies to the sympathetic. But yeah. Oh, and the one of the other things that's so very cool about this book is that it allows you, of course, you can play it in any setting that you choose, but it allows you to put it into Dark Sun. I mean, it's got suggestions for playing it in the existing settings, like Dark Sun, Dragonlance. I don't like Dragonlance. Greyhawk, if you like it, that's fine. I don't like Greyhawk. Really enjoy Greyhawk. Forgotten Realms, Eberron, and so forth. So it does have rules for that allows you to seamlessly integrate it into your campaign. And if you have your own campaign and you can kind of pick one that most closely matches one of the existing ones, or you can just look to the existing ones for ideas and things. And in the back, in the afterword, it has here, it begins on page 251. It has a series of really cool quotes and illustrations and stuff for those of you who dig the illustrations as I do. Illustrations are not necessary, but that visual element often puts us in touch with our artistic side. And there are illustrations throughout, including books and including maps is the word that so diligently escaped me, and it gives you a really good feel for what's going on, and there you have it. So I'm going to give this 4 3/4 axes on a 5-axe scale, just because there was that weird discrepancy with the levels. That's not real clear, and there wasn't much else wrong with it, if anything. I mean, it flowed well. I'm gonna give it 4.9. 4.9 axes, by golly, because I'm the dungeon freaking master. Freaking. But just that little ambiguity, it makes it imperfect, which might be their flaw, the Persian flaw, in their tapestry of adventure. Again, this book is The Princes of the Apocalypse, and it can be found at DungeonsDragons.com, of course, or wherever fine elemental evil books can be found. Go to them. Don't forget to look us up at www.dwarventavern.net, and like us on Facebook and all that junk, and like and subscribe and blah blah blah. You know the drill. And we'll be back with some more reviews very, very soon. It can be picked up for $49.95 USD. And that is it. So, on behalf of the whole cast and crew of the Dwarven Tavern, we wish for you to want for nothing but adventure. And at first I feared it, then I charged. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Let the games begin. Let the